Okay. Well, apparently we're doing this without a camera today. I guess everybody can hear me. I'm not real sure what happened there. Oh, you can't hear me now, can you? What in the world is the problem here? Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me? Okay. All right. So I don't know why my camera is off. I don't know what's going on. It just goes black when I turn it on. I'm not sure why, but whatever. We'll do it without video today, I guess, which is fine. I can turn this bright ass light off, and I've got stuff for you to look at other than me anyway. So that's the thing. How's everybody doing today? Thanks for coming and watching. I'm not sure why my camera quit working right as soon as I went live, but it was working just a second ago. So I'll have to look at that and figure out what the hell's going on. But anyway, so I haven't done one of these in a little while because it's just depressing to have to research this stuff and talk about it and go watch the videos and things and then download them and all that crap. It's a pain in the ass. So I don't like doing that all the time. I like doing this and talking about stuff or whatever. But there were some interesting things, and I think that not that it's a big shock to anyone, but it's wild to turn on one of these news channels or political channels or whatever, and you're greeted with the President of the United States just saying absolutely crazy things. Not like crazy, like I disagree with his policy and stuff like that, but like things that make me doubt his sanity. Which I'm sure many of us are on the same page with that, and that's not really impressive. One of the things that is in the title that I do want to talk about, though, is this. Like I don't care much for legacy media because they're liars and they're worried more about the bottom line than telling you the truth, and they're willing to capitulate to whatever Trump says to keep from losing a dime. So I don't I don't care much for the CNNs and MSNBCs and all that. A lot of my news I get from researching, and I watch like the Midas Touch Network on YouTube, and I see there's a lot of other left wing commentators out there. But the crazy thing about these left wing commentators is you can go pull up any of their channels and look at their videos, and every single video is bombshell legal announcement and uh, bombshell this and Trump's term is over and just these, and then they go on to say, well, a judge said Trump couldn't do that, and it's it's kind of it it's kind of what got us into a lot of this mess to begin with. Only now it's the left doing it. The sensationalism of every piece of news, to where you have to go make all these clickbaity titles and stuff. Listen, I'm probably left of left, honestly, and I I won't watch I won't watch something if it has bombshell in the title or whatever, because I know I'm just building myself up for a letdown because it's some nonsense. And because of that, if it was something, that I really needed to see, I wouldn't see it, because and neither would anybody else. Because even the people who are clicking on that stuff,
after the first minute, when they find out, oh, well, a judge said that they kind of think Trump's wrong. No decision, nothing like that. Just a judge said something about about it. And they I feel like they're doing themselves a disservice to do this, because there's a lot of interesting things, important things, even funny things that go on within our government. And you, whenever you continually clickbait people like that, they eventually become not interested in what you have to say. It's the boy who cried wolf, right? Um, and so then whenever you have really important things, which there are, some of the stuff they talk about is very, very important, some of it not. uh, Hasanabi is the truth. I see you up there, Dade. um, the it's everybody's. You're free to give your videos clickbaity titles and whatever. And like, I'm not hating on clickbait titles. That's not it. It's the sensationalism of news. If it was clickbait, you had some chick in the thing, and that's different. That's artistic license, I feel like. But there's nothing artistic about the news. um It's also breaking news. Caw caw caw. That's awesome, Sumami. How are the how are the birds? Uh, but Clickbait titles are annoying in some cases if you're if you're not up for it or whatever. But it gets it gets to where you don't want, like, you don't go click on that thing because you're like, oh yeah, it's just clickbait again. And I'm starting to feel that way about a lot of the Brian Tyler Cohens and the Luke Beasleys and the Modest Touch videos and stuff like that. I'm tempted not to watch a lot of them because they do this, and they like, why be dishonest? Why do you have to do that? But there would be art if there were real damn journalists. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Amber. Uh, So anyway, that's just my rant about that kind of stuff. Like, whenever I watch this stuff, it always bothers me that it's like that, because I feel like they're doing they're turning people away more than they're having people listen to them by doing these things. Um, and I think YouTube, the you'll see in chat all the time, and in comments and everywhere. I think a lot of YouTube consumers are kind of sick of it too. Like, they don't want, like, you just tell me what I need to know in the title, and if it's something I'm going to pay attention to, I'll pay attention to it. You getting me to click on it, and when I'm not going to pay attention to it anyway, is doesn't bend anybody but the creator. And when we're talking about news, and you play that kind of game with the news, I mean, uh, Brian Tyler Cohen, for the longest time, always talked about, hey, I don't do sponsorships, I don't ask for your money, and all this other stuff, but you know you can join or whatever, but I'm not going to ask you for money, I'm not going to show you ads, uh, all that stuff. But then turns around and does all those things and all that, and it's just like, I don't know, it has the same feel to it, I guess. Not that there aren't important things out there, and by exposing yourself to more sources, you tend to get a better picture of what's really going on. Um, so anyway, there were some just some little funny things that popped up this week. So here's one of them. Uh, did we see this? So nothing new. Trump making himself into um, you know AI pictures of Trump being exactly who he is over and over. But the funny thing about this is posted by the White House. This was posted on the White House's main account, and it was a thing Trump had reposted apparently or whatever. And he says he had nothing to do with it, doesn't know who made it, doesn't know anything about it, which is kind of funny because this also exists too, right? Uh, and it's kind of similar, kind of doing the same thing there, aren't you? And it's um, let me go back. Let me pull that back up. So we've got that one, and I think the same AI made both of these myself. Just looking at the colors and the that's my opinion, but you can't see the pictures. We can't see it. We can only see your thumping. What the word? You can't see the pictures that I put up on screen just now? Oh, I see the problem. I got you. There you go. Now you should be able to see them. Um, gotcha. Uh, so yeah. Let me go back to the first pick here, so we can. Not that I don't think you guys don't know what this is, but let's. So the White House released this picture of Trump as Pope, which was originally a thing by Donald Trump that he reposted or some stuff, and whatever. Like, I don't care. We kind of talked about this the other day. I said, hey, what do you want to bet? Like, the MAGA people say that Trump is supposed to be Pope or whatever. Like, like he doesn't know anything about the Bible. He doesn't. Pretty sure he's an atheist. Cheated on his wife. Committed fraud over and over. Is a predator, a liar, a thief, and a Nazi. So, kind of odd to see him in a Pope, whatever that is, Pope uniform, Pope dress. I don't know what you call it, but he said that he didn't know anything about this and that he didn't have anything to do with it, didn't know anything about it. But at the same time, he released this yesterday, a couple days ago on May the 4th. So, whatever. He's a Jedi. He's the Pope. The red lightsaber. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that early on too. I was like, why does he have a red lightsaber? But we know why. So anyway, the back to the Jedi pick's great and whatever, but back to this one. So anyway, Trump, I guess, thought that people would actually support him doing that or whatever, and let's. I'll show you what he had to say about it first, and then we'll talk about it some more. So watch this.
Some Catholics were not so happy about the image of you looking like the Pope.
Oh, I see. You mean they can't take a joke? You don't mean the Catholics, you mean the fake news media. Not the Catholics loved it. I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope, and they put it out on the internet. That's not me that did it. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe it was AI, but I know nothing about it. I just saw it last evening. Actually, my wife thought it was cute. She said, "Isn't that nice?"
My question about
Actually, I would not be able to be married, though. That would be a lot. I'd have to the best of my knowledge, popes aren't big on getting married, are they? Not that we know of. No. I think it's the fake news media that they're fakers.
My question, though, sir, was about the fact that it was put out on the White House account, even though it was AI generated, it was a joke, it was a meme, does it at all diminish the substance of the official White House account to have it go out on that particular
give
channel?
me a break. It was just somebody did it in fun. It's fine. Have to have a little fun, don't you?
No, you don't. The White House account shouldn't be used to put out Trump's fantasies of being Pope or a Jedi or a Sith or whatever. Also though, at the beginning of that, he says the Catholics don't care and they're fine with it. The Catholics are very upset. They didn't like it at all. Now I'm sure there's a bunch of white Catholic people that are big time Trump supporters, but I don't think that has to do with him being Catholic. But the Catholics weren't real happy about it, and so they're pissed off. He said, "Oh, I don't know who made it, and it was made they put it on the internet." I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that at all. But anytime, yeah, it doesn't diminish the White House account. That's true too. Both can be true. The I don't know. It's just if it's the stuff that is Donald Trump is interesting. But anyway, he anytime Trump is sitting and saying that he doesn't know something, if he says he doesn't know, he's behind it, because Trump famously never says he doesn't know. He's always claimed to know the most about women and sports and chess, and he knows the most and is the best and the bigly most best at everything. And when he says he doesn't know, it's because he's trying to cover up the thing he did that brought him heat. So I think he obviously knows. Which brings me to the next thing I wanted to talk about. And Trump did an interview, and I'm sure about everybody has seen this, but here's about a minute of it I want to talk about. I may have to pause it in that minute just to show something else, but let's look at this.
I can't have a trial, a major trial for every person that came in illegally. We have thousands of murderers that came in. They're going to murder people. They already have murdered people in our country.
Right, so
we have to get them out, and we have to get them out fast.
Really bad guys.
So first of all, I'll say arguing that it's complex to have a bunch of trials or that it's a lot of work to have a bunch of trials doesn't mean that you should deprive people of due process. That's not a thing. So I don't know, but that's not the point.
But in our country, even bad guys get due process, right?
If people come into our country illegally, there's a different standard. These are illegal. They came in illegally.
But they get due process.
Well, they get a process where we have to get them out. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not at all what he asked. They get due process, right? They get a process.
Let's talk about the Venezuelans.
They get whatever my lawyers say. These tattoos.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
So I'm not going to talk about the due process thing right now because I've got another clip that's got that in it. So hold on to that.
He did not have the letter MS13.
It says MS13.
Yeah, that was photoshopped. So let me
That was photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice.
That goes on for another 5 minutes, where Trump sits there and says, yes, it said it on his knuckles. And so not that I need to, really prove this to you guys or anything, but You see that MS-13 there? It does say that across his knuckles. The problem is that that's not really on his knuckles, which should be obvious, and I think is obvious. Also, I couldn't find the clip of this, but I've seen it myself, so I know that it happened. Whenever Trump showed this picture the day he was, I think it was on the 100th day thing. When he showed this picture, he introduced it by saying, "Oh, we had some people at the DOJ made up this pic. People in the administration, they got this picture for me, so I assume that it's real and that everything on it's legit and that it's the right picture and all that stuff." And again, if Trump's telling you that he doesn't know about something, again, it's also he knows. uh, he's lying to you, and I don't need to explain to you how we know that's Photoshop. I don't think. I mean, he. Let's pretend for a second that these are real tattoos. So the narrative is that he was in MS-13, so he got these things tattooed, and for some reason, he got a much better quality job on the MS-13, and it was obviously done much later, as it doesn't have any of the fading or the other stuff. Um, the so yeah, tattoo artists aren't like you're saying, John. Tattoo artists aren't putting Arial font tattoos on people's hands. Um, I mean, I suppose they could try that or whatever, but you can tell that these are not the same thing. So he got the symbols for MS-13, but here in the last couple of years, he decided, well, maybe nobody knows what it means, so we're going to get MS-13 above it because it needs that. I don't know. I don't know what the thought process is on Trump, like looking at that and coming to that conclusion, other than he's batshit crazy. Um, the My understanding is that this is the first of all nothing to do with MS-13, couldn't be construed that way without this kind of thing. Um, my understanding is it's smoke weed and get high, believe in one God, and then die is what these stand for. Which, whatever. Um, the doesn't matter. I don't guess it definitely doesn't. Gang experts, some of the most some of the biggest experts in this area have said that none of that has anything to do with MS-13 in any way whatsoever. And the so this man was sent to El Salvador, and the funny thing about it is that they keep telling everybody that we're sending the only the worst of the worst first, and all this stuff. This guy was here legally. He was in fact, he was going into the immigration office to do some stuff whenever they detained him. Um, the he was doing everything that he was supposed to do, and but it doesn't matter because we have we said the tattoos on your knuckles mean that you're an illegal and that you're a gang member, and so since there's no due process, we get to decide. And the problem with this is that if they're doing this, then they can do this to anyone. Quite literally, they can. It doesn't matter, and they don't care that everyone knows that this guy isn't actually a gang member. They don't care. They know he's not a gang member. It's not just that they got it wrong. They know he's not a gang member. They're lying to you. and they you know they did this. That's been a huge thing here. But when you start taking due process, which is guaranteed by the Constitution, not just to American citizens but to all people in our country, you run into that, right? So they whatever. But here's a little bit on. This clip's a little bit longer, and I'm going to let the whole thing play while I get a drink. But we'll talk about it in a second. It's only like, it's not even 2.5 minutes, I don't think. It's definitely not 3 minutes. Here we go.
So let's talk about this, because obviously you've had a back and forth with the Supreme Court. In a 9-0 decision, the Supreme Court directed your administration to facilitate the return. You've talked about this in the past, of Kilmar Abrego Garcia from a prison in El Salvador, whose deportation your administration called an administrative error. You said in a recent interview you could bring him back, but you won't. Are you defying the Supreme Court, sir?
No, I'm relying on the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, who's very capable, doing a great job, because I'm not involved in the legality or the illegality. I have lawyers to do that, and that's why I have a great DOJ. We have a great one. We had a very corrupt one before. Now we have a great one. And they're not viewing the decision the way you said it. They don't view it that way at all. They think it's a totally different decision.
Well, you say you have the power to bring him back, though. Your attorney general says, quote, that's up to El Salvador. Just to put a fine point on this, do you have the power to bring Abrego Garcia back as the Supreme Court?
Well, I have the power to ask for him to come back if I'm instructed by the Attorney General that it's legal to do so. But the decision as to whether or not he should come back will be the head of El Salvador. He's a very capable man.
Well, you know, and your attorney general has said it.
So all that was wrong. I'm sorry, I couldn't let all that go. First of all, yes, he is defying the Supreme Court when they say you need to get him back here, facilitate his return immediately, and then he doesn't do that. So yes, he is defying what the court ordered him to do, and has over and over and over. This argument that he can ask them to do it or whatever. The United States is paying for them to keep him there. He's not a he's not being honest at all. Not like he ever is. But it's just wild that this is the thing. Like, this is the hill that they're gonna die on. That we're going to argue about these tattoos, and we're going to say that we don't, even though they admit that they sit him in error, we're not bringing him back. We're not fixing it. We're not admitting anything wrong. And he said, whenever I find out I can legally bring him back or whatever, like, that's not a thing. You don't go looking for people's permission on anything else you do. But yeah. All right, we'll let him go on some more.
The issue is with that word facilitate. Will you seek clarification from the Supreme Court? Do you need to go back to the Supreme Court?
We may do that. I was asking about that. We may do that.
That means no.
Your Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the fifth.
Okay, so here's where I have a problem, because Trump says he doesn't know if he has to uphold the Constitution. And his oath of office very specifically says that that is his job, to protect and to uphold the Constitution. To have a United States president on TV saying, "Do you have to do what the Constitution says? I don't know," is, and just like the same thing with the guy with the tattoos, and the same thing with the Pope picture too. Um, the buck does not stop at Trump. It does not stop at his desk. It doesn't even make it into the room, I don't guess. Uh, Trump apparently would have you think that he has no power over anything. Um, he has no ability to get anything done or whatever. Never mind. He says the opposite if it's something that people support. You know, he claims he has no power to achieve anything, but all the way up to office, we're we're gonna lower all these prices. We're gonna fix all this stuff. We're just not. I mean, we again. I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir here on my channel and stuff, but uh, it's uh, it's bullshit. So he was given a withholder removal or the allegations they put forth and the claim affiliated with MS-13 were laughable. Yeah, Trump is innocent. Yeah, not at all. Um, but so the the president just sitting there and plainly saying he doesn't know if he has to. Do I have to abide by that oath I took? I don't know. I think since the Supreme Court said that I can't break the law, I don't think that I do. Um, that's kind of what he's saying. And they've so I talked about this for a minute the other day too, but they've started this thing that they want immigrants to self-deport, and if they'll self-deport, they'll pay for a plane ticket and give them $1,000 to go home to their country, so that they've got money to get established on stuff. And that was a thing that Levitt, the press secretary, was talking about. A couple of people have talked about it, but they are offering $1,000 and a plane ticket to, if you're an immigrant, to self-deport. My question is that available to American citizens? Because I would seriously consider taking them up on that offer myself. And I think a lot of other people would too, just from people I've talked to, and things I've heard. Uh, I think that a lot of people may be interested in that. So you can whatever. But anyway, the there's been some other stuff going on too. Trump met with Mark Carney and said a bunch of stupid stuff about Canada, that they're going to be our friends, and all he wants from Canada is their friendship, and just like a bunch of stupid stuff, which Mark Carney made him look stupid for saying. But yeah, but that's our president, doing such wonderful things. Go Kamala. So yeah, I didn't put together a lot more than that for today. I didn't plan on doing this all that long today anyway, but I felt like there were a few things that were worth talking about and stuff. And the the whole I don't have to abide by my oath of office, and taking due process rights away from American citizens is pretty troubling. And back to just to bring it back around to the beginning of the stream, it would be nice if some of these left-wing and news organizations could just tell us that without all of the bombshells and all the skies on fire nonsense. The I feel like they're keeping people from listening to them rather than the other way around. And Stop the Stupidity just gifted some memberships. Hold on, let me get over here so I can show it on the screen. Five memberships. Stop the Stupidity gifted. Looks like we hit Al Trucker, Joshua Davidson, Christopher, Howard, and Mark the Rational. Gabrici. But yeah, thanks, Stop the Stupidity. I appreciate it. We'll do a member stream tomorrow sometime. I've got a video with Zach from the Shaking Fist sometime tomorrow also. But we'll do a member stream tomorrow, either before. Maybe I'll do it during the day tomorrow. I did the last one in the evening. I'll do it during the day. 1 or 2 o'clock or something, maybe. But yeah, really short show today, guys. We didn't even go an hour. But just some stuff I had downloaded that I thought was funny to talk about and interesting stuff to think about. But everybody's a member now except for Level. Yeah. I think we have 90 members now. I think that those 5 would have made it 90. But yeah, thanks so much, everybody, for coming and watching. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.